Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom!
They got my leg!
Don't ask me to do nothing!
Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. And our goal is always to bring you nothing but the best, all things Pittsburgh Steelers football. How's it going, Jer?
Good. Excited for today.
But Jerry, it is go time now. It is officially week 1. We're going to kick this fucking thing off now. It's time to go. What are you thinking about Cincinnati on Sunday now?
Yeah, I think the plan should be going into Cincinnati, get to the fucking quarterback, man. Put pressure on the quarterback. And not only put pressure on the quarterback at the same time, first of all, we can't afford, Tomlin has talked about it in his presser. You can't turn the ball over. You just can't do it against a team like that. And you got to put pressure on the quarterback, and you got to stop the fucking run, man. You got to stop the run, because then it just opens up Burrow for the play action, and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Boyd. They got weapons all over the field. You know what I mean? So you take away that fucking play action, man. You fucking hit these guys at the line of scrimmage. Stop the fucking run. Get to the quarterback. It's a recipe for a win, man. And now Mitch starting quarterback. Congrats to Mitch. I just think, dude, that this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the week on the NFL board.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a blast. Especially, I mean, you have divisional. They represented the AFC in the Super Bowl. The Steelers we've won this matchup as the underdog 4 of the last 5 times the Steelers have played the Bengals as the underdog. So it's not like our backs against the wall and we can't fucking win the game. The Steelers had this same type of layout. You have an AFC favorite, week 1, hostile environment on the road. And last year we did it to the Bills. We came out and put down a grade A defensive performance. I mean, offense was shit. Don't beat around the bush. Last year, week 1, the offense sucked. And the defense carried us, special teams carried us. Killebrew had the touchdown. And what do we have this year? We go into another hostile environment with an AFC favorite, week 1. And you're right, it's going to come down to the defense. Last year, Mixon killed us. Joe Mixon destroyed us last year, and it made everything so much easier on Burrow. They got the ball out quickly. Play action kept us on our heels a little bit. So if the pass rush can get home, which we're going to be healthy. You heard that Highsmith is good to go now. Tomlin said today. TJ is going to be good to go.
DJ's a little banged up, right? But he should go.
Yeah, so Tomlin said follow the injury report. But here's the thing about him saying follow the injury report with Deontay Johnson was that he also said last week after the Lions game when he got hurt, if it were a regular season game, Deontay Johnson more than likely would have went back into the game. So
yes, that's right.
Though he said, okay, yeah, follow the injury report. I think some of that's a little bit of Tomlin talk as we get. So I would be shocked if Deontay Johnson doesn't play week 1 here. So
I'm not that bullshit that Tomlin tried to pull. I don't care what anybody says. It wasn't an error. I think that was just to fuck with people, bro.
Yeah, a clerical error. I mean, this is an NFL franchise that there are only so many positional battles through training camp that, the national media had all eyes on. So to have him say that it's a clerical error that Kenny Pickett came out as QB3 on the depth chart, and then he tried to liken it to, it was like a copy and paste type deal. Someone copy and pasted something that shouldn't have copied and pasted.
That doesn't happen, bro.
Yeah, I don't. That was wild. I was shocked to see that. I mean, yesterday I was texting you whenever we saw it. I'm like, how the fuck is he the 3? That doesn't even make any sense at this point.
No, it doesn't. But hey, shout out to Kenny, man. As a rookie, I couldn't have pictured a better preseason, man. I really couldn't have.
No.
Was efficient, accurate, a couple touchdown passes, no interceptions, not a lot of incompletions. Yeah, people will say he didn't really throw the ball to downfield. Okay, sure. But, it's good for his confidence, you know what I mean, to complete all these passes, not throw any picks, throw a couple touchdowns. We've seen what he's like under pressure. He actually, and this is no shade to Mitch at all, But he actually outperformed Mitch when he was under pressure. So
Oh yeah,
that's awesome for a rookie. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude,
right.
Kenny earned the second spot on the depth chart for sure, 100%. Um, at times I kind of feel a little bit bad for Mason Rudolph.
Yep, yep.
It just sucks, just him being behind Ben all those years, and then all of a sudden you get in, then you lose the job to Duck Hodges, and then it's kind of like the same cycle all over again. I hope if it's not with the Steelers, Mason finds a team, whether it's a backup, a starting gig. I don't wish him any harm, and I want to put some out there too for the fucking stupid fucking fans. I've seen this a couple times today. I don't even know how they're Pittsburgh Steelers fans. They're just like wishing Mitch, like, oh, I hope Mitch loses the job by week 2. Like, no, you shouldn't hope that, bro.
No, that puts misery on all of us. Like that's what they
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm never going to no matter who is in there, I'm going to be excited about. I'm going to support it because that is what it's going to take us
Yes.
to like that's what we have. That's what the fuck is going
Yeah.
to carry our chariot to the promised land. So,
Yeah.
if it's Mitch and that's what Coach Tomlin and everyone in that building that is well more equipped to talk about this than anybody on Twitter or the internet or you or I, if that is who he says he has the best chance to win with, that is who we have the best chance to win with. I don't think
Yeah,
that's who we have the best chance of winning with forever. I think eventually
yeah,
Kenny gets to look at it, but you
for
have to
sure.
remember here, this is the NFL. Mike Tomlin has a job on the line. Quarterback coaches, they have a job on the line. Offensive coordinators, they have this is their career. This is
Yeah,
the food on their table. They're gonna put whoever it is, whoever they think gives us the best chance to win, that's who's gonna get the start. So I hate that that people will slander that kind of guy or talk about him that way because that's bullshit. That's not right. He is our quarterback. That's who you fucking rock with. That's
yeah,
who we rock with until it's not who you rock with. And then if Kenny comes in, then let's fucking ride. Then there's
yeah.
no more. You don't have to worry about it. That shit pisses me off too, man.
Yeah, but I think it was the smart move overall. You know what I mean? You don't throw Kenny into the fire there right away.
Nope.
Get him some experience behind Mitch. Mitch seems like a good guy, good competitor. Listen, he didn't do anything to lose the job.
Nope.
So shout out to him. And he seems like he's a team guy. Just like it seems like all these guys are. You know what I mean? And from the few guys I've talked to on the Steelers, they're fucking team guys, man. You heard Pat say it like, hey man, I don't give a fuck about the stats. I just want to win,
Yep.
and that's
Yep.
what you need on your team to win a fucking Super Bowl. You guys,
Yep.
you have to have everybody invested to the same goal. That's bringing a Super Bowl home.
I think back to like the '05 and the '08 teams when we won the Super Bowls those years. You could tell it was a selfless football team. It was a
Oh
selfless
yeah,
football team. Everybody had bought in, and the best part was you knew that culture was so strong because it had transitioned from Bill Cowher then to Mike Tomlin, and we didn't
yeah,
miss a fucking beat. We won in
nope,
'05 with Cowher, we win in '05 or '08 with Coach T. So that type of stuff in the locker room, and I think that the Steelers have been trying to rebuild that culture for a while now. You had your ABs, you had your Le'Veons, you had some guys that were more me guys, and it's hard to deny that they were. Uh, and some of that's it's like cancerous to the locker room. And I think the Steelers went out of their way for the last few years to draft guys that are definitely gonna be solid locker room presences.
I'm just looking forward to this year, man. I really am. I think this is a big year for the Steelers, man. It can improve, and it's a year where they can prove a lot of fucking doubters wrong. All the fucking
Yep.
beat writers that wrote them off, saying,
Yep.
"Oh, this is a 4-win season. This is a 5-win season. They'll be last in the division." I think it's just the perfect year just to stick it to all these fucking people. And notoriously, the Steelers do stick it to a lot of these people that have
Yep.
been down on them the last couple years, where on paper it really looks like you know what I mean? This team has no chance to make the playoffs, and somehow, some way they just find a way to win. And I think that's just Tomlin, man. I think that's just the culture that's there now. They just know how to win games, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they don't care how the fuck they win it. Mostly it's been the defense. So I'm looking forward to the offense this year. Hopefully, giving the defense a little bit of a break because the defense hasn't had that in a couple years.
No shit,
And if
man.
they do, think about it like this: if the offense could push the ball down the field, eat up some clock, give these guys a rest on defense, just imagine what they can do. They've been doing it for the last couple years with no fucking rest, you know?
Yep. Yep. And that's a big thing. So let's just, lead right into what I wanted to discuss next would have been what is your prediction for the season then? Like what are you like realistically, what do you see us doing?
Realistically, I think we will sneak into the playoffs.
Yep.
I think it'll be probably 9-8, 10-7 type of year for
Yep.
the Steelers. I would love 10 wins. That would be great.
10 wins
Um,
we get in. 10 wins in my opinion we get in.
yeah, dude, for sure. You know, the division is tough. It's always been tough. You know what I mean? The thing that changed over the last year and a half, 2 years is the Bengals are good.
Yep. Yep.
So the Steelers for years have just been really competing with the Ravens, and
Yep.
and,
Brown
and
suck.
now it's like you watch and it's like, okay, the Browns are very, very good, and like Cleveland is right there too, where it's like arguably the hardest division in football.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I think it's like a 10-7 type of year. I love to be one of those guys that's it's gonna be 15-2. Like, no, it's not. It's
Not a
not gonna
fucking
be.
chance. No.
Listen, and I think most of the Steelers' losses will come from poor offensive line play. Um,
Yep.
I think that's gonna be the deciding factor on the year. Let's say the Steelers don't make the playoffs. I can almost guarantee you, it was a bad offensive year, bad offensive line. Like, that's their weak point right now. And hopefully, as the season goes on, the group that's up front gets closer and holds it down for us. Because if they do, this team has a chance.
Well, that's exactly where it's at, and ultimately that's where I'm at with it. Like I have written down here, 10-7 wild card sneak in the back door somewhere around there. But it comes down to the games like Sunday. That's a divisional game. We need to split. In my mind,
Yes.
if we can split with the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns, we're gonna be in it. That's three
Yes.
wins out of 6 difficult fucking games. You can't ask for a
Yes.
whole lot more than that. So if we can get through the first 8 weeks of the season, get to the bye week and we can find a rhythm on that offensive line, I genuinely do believe this could be a playoff team if everything starts to gel and come together and mesh on that O line.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
in my opinion, there's no. I think it would be very difficult for us to win the division with how rough and sketchy the line looks right now. So I'm not going to be a homer yinzer that they're going to fucking win the division, but I also do believe that defense still does control this league. Look at the Rams won that Super Bowl against the Bengals because Aaron Donald was a fucking monster,
Yeah.
and Burrow couldn't do shit. Now the Bengals have gotten a little bit better on the O line, so they've addressed some of their weaknesses, but they lost some guys in free agency that like any team is going to. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's 10-7. I think Jerry, we get in there and it's hard to be any upset about 10-7. You sneak in,
No, not at
you get
all.
in there. It's a dream. That's a dream for us this year.
Yeah, 100%, especially for, a first year starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
It's big, you know what I mean? To come in and go to the playoffs if they do, that's huge. That's
And
huge. And
anything can happen.
yeah, dude, listen, anything could happen any given day in the fucking NFL. Like, dude,
Nick
let's
Foles.
take for instance the Bengals last year. Like, the season starts off, very few people are betting that team to win the fucking Super Bowl
No.
or even go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The fact that they got to the Super Bowl is amazing, and one of the reasons is great quarterback play. They were solid on defense. Jamar Chase was a monster, but
Yep.
most importantly, they stayed healthy.
Yep.
And the Steelers have been banged up the last couple years. So hopefully everybody's healthy this year. I'm looking forward to a 10-7 year. I hope.
Yeah, and the Bengals got hot last year. Let's not forget the first
Yeah.
half of the Bengals season. They were not fucking world beaters by any means. I mean, they lit us up at Heinz Field, but we had some
Yeah.
issues, some injuries, all sorts of different things associated with that. I mean,
Yeah.
we just simply were not a very good football team early in the year last year. So they lit us up, but they got hot. The Bengals got hot at the end of the season, and again, look, like I said in 05, look what the Steelers did. That's what it takes. It's about who is hot coming through December into the
Yeah.
stretch run of January. That's what this comes down to, and it's health. Unfortunately, we
Yeah.
haven't fucking been healthy in how long, man? It's been so
Yeah.
long since we've gone into the playoffs with a full roster of dudes ready to rock. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. That's a lot of what it comes down to. For me, you know, let's look at the MVPs of if the season ends, what are you looking at, guys? We would need to be the MVP of the team in order to see success, both offensively, defensively, and then on special teams. What are your thoughts on who we're going to have to see shine in order to make it?
Offensively, I will go with I'll go with quarterback play. Whether that'll be Mitch or Kenny, who knows how the season shakes up. But it would have to be very good quarterback play. So
Yep.
that would probably be my MVP for offense. And defensively, I would go with, I'm not going to say TJ Watt because we know what he can do.
Hmm.
Um, I think the secondary will have their hands full this year.
Yep.
So I would say give me give me Sutton or Witherspoon, or even a guy like Levi Wallace. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Who not a lot of people know about him, but he was pretty good in Buffalo, man.
Yep.
He was a pretty good cornerback in Buffalo, and I think defensively, I'll look at the secondary. We already know what the TJ Watts can do with the Miles. Listen, Miles Jack, he hasn't played a game for the Steelers, but I mean, you watch him in preseason, you know he could fucking ball.
He's good to
Uh,
go.
yeah, he's ready to go. I'm just a little skeptical at times of the secondary. We know what Minka could do. We know what Edmonds can do. But yeah, dude, Witherspoon, Cam Sutton, they those guys got to show out, man. Those guys got to show out because
Yep.
listen, you got your like, okay, you're going up against Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? Twice a year, which
Yep.
isn't easy. You know what I mean by any means.
Right.
You got Amari Cooper on the Browns. You know what I mean? You got
Yep.
you got good wide receivers in your division, man. So they gotta play good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think for me, if the Steelers are going to be competitive this year, and if we're going to win games, the way that we need to win games is going to come down to offensively. It's probably Najee for me. If Najee has a banner year, if Najee performs, then that means a lot of other things have gone right for us. It means that the line got better. So if the line got better, that to me is the formula for the Steelers to win a lot of these games that they might not be favored in, is controlling the ball, not turning it
Yeah.
over. You don't really turn the ball over if you have a great run game, knock on wood, that you don't deal with any fumbles and things of that nature. But you have to think about it. If Najee can carry the load and we can control the clock and we control possession, it lightens the load for a guy like Mitch. It takes a lot of pressure off of Mitch. Where it also means it opens up play action, which opens up
Yeah.
mismatches for guys like. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's. That's how that to me is the recipe for the Steelers winning this year is going to be if Najee gets it fucking rolling. That means the line got better. That means it opens up everything else as far as the receivers are concerned. They start crowding the box. What does that mean? We have elite route running in DJ. You have electrifying wide receiver play in George Pickens. Chase Claypool would be a one-on-one nightmare if they put him in the slot. Freiermuth is going to dominate, most littler linebackers, or you bring a safety down to cover him. He's just going to bully that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So if Najee Harris can get it going, and he happens to be one of our best players on offense this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat teams. They're going to beat
Yeah.
teams that a lot of people are saying right now they don't have a fucking prayer to beat. So I'm real big on Najee. On the defensive side of the ball, I agree with you. It could be the secondary, but I'm going to go middle linebacker play, and it's Devin Bush. If Devin Bush has a banner year and we can shut down the run game, where teams then we can play a little bit back and we can disguise some things in a zone because teams are less likely to run against us because we have shut down run defense. That helps the secondary. That is how you marry a great front seven to help your back end. And
Yep.
so I really, if I'm pulling so goddamn hard for Devin Bush to have a bounce back year, because if he does, the guys like Cam, they're going to eat. TJ, he's going to eat. I'm not worried about those guys. They're going to get theirs. Those guys carry it. They've shown us they can carry their load. It's if we get Minka, I don't worry about those kind of guys. And as much as, some people want to bag on Edmonds, and maybe I say he doesn't have great ball skills and he doesn't, intercept as many balls as we'd like. He doesn't have to.
No.
Edmonds can be to Minka what Ryan Clark was to Troy Polamalu. And
Oh,
so not
100%.
everybody has to be a fucking home run hitter in order to have a great defense. You just need everyone to do their job. And if we can get Devin Bush to do his job this year and he can shed some blocks and make some tackles so that it brings up longer third downs mean TJ has time to get there, which means he
Yeah,
can rush the quarterback. The quarterback is a little bit off the mark, which can help a little bit less of a skilled secondary position. So to me, it's those two. And then obviously Boswell and the special teams. I think if the Steelers are going to win some games, Boswell's going to he's going to have to win us some games. They're going to be tight games. He might have to make some field goals. I believe in Boswell. I think he's arguably 1A as far as kickers in the NFL are concerned, and he got paid as such. So, to me, that's the recipe for the Steelers' success this season is going to be those three keys.
for sure. Yeah, I'm interested to see also Harvin, to see how he punts this year,
Yep.
because last year was not good.
No.
Last year was not good. You got to pin these guys back, man. You can't
Yep.
have teams starting at their own 35, own 45. It just, it's too easy in the NFL. I mean, it's not hard to get 2 first downs on a series,
Yep.
and you get fucking 2 first downs, you're right there. You know what I mean? Especially if you start at the own 40.
Right.
So yeah, dude, I'm hoping he has a comeback year and he could really pin some teams back and make it harder on the offense to score.
Yep. I mean, last year, all the hype was coming out. I believe it's the Ray Guy. I think he won the Ray Guy, the best punter in
Yeah,
the league.
from
So
Georgia Tech.
yeah. So he has a fucking rocket on his hip. I just think he couldn't find it last year. And then when he did get some things going, his father had passed away, so he dealt
Yeah.
with some loss and some tragedy as far as that is concerned. So I'm not going to ever hold that against somebody on that end of it. But yeah, if he has a bounce back year and we can flip the field again. Special teams is 1/3 of the game. People that say, "Oh, it doesn't fucking matter who your punter is," well, you're an idiot because it does
Yeah.
matter who your punter is. If we can flip the field and give our defense, then they got to go 80 yards. The defense at some point they might give up a first down or two, but they're going to lock it in. They clamp down,
Yeah.
and you can get the ball back. But if we're muffing, shitty punts and shanking punts and they're going 30 yards, that hurts. That
Yeah.
hurts, and you can't have it again this year. The margin for error this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be so small, in my opinion, that Tomlin hinted at it today. The turnover battle, we can't afford to lose a turnover battle. I also don't think we can afford to lose a special teams battle. If we can win the turnover battle and the special teams battle, I think the Steelers are they're going to be competitive this year.
No, 100%.
What do you think? Let's look at the betting. So it's time. This is this is gonna be a great segment. I cannot wait to get this underway. So have you looked at the lines? Have you had a chance to look at what we're looking at for Sunday?
Yeah, my play as far as the my play of the week right now is the under 44.5 points total.
Yep.
For the Steelers Bengals game. I just division game. Think the defense shows up. I think both defenses play well. There'll be some rust on both teams for sure. You know what I mean? I think the Steelers are going to try to run the ball a lot. Yeah, I'd lean towards the under. That'll be my pick for the week. I don't.
Yep.
I mean, it could happen. Who the fuck knows? But I don't see a world where fucking Bengals put up 30 points and the Steelers put up 20 points and boom, they hit the over. I don't really see that happening. I'm thinking more of like 20 to 13, 20, 17 game, 20, 21 type of game, maybe, somewhere along those lines. So my bet of the week will be the under 44.5.
Yep, under 44.5. That's Jerry's bet of the week on that end. You'd mentioned something that I wanna play off of. So you took the under here. Each of the Bengals' last 5 games have resulted in unders. So that plays into what you're saying. Their defense is pretty goddamn decent. Our defense is pretty decent. It should be a low scoring type of game, and it's a division game. I say this to myself every year. Division games are just dogfights usually. They are low scoring because you have such a familiarity with that team that you're playing. You're so used to what you're seeing out of them, and also if you don't think Mike Tomlin is going to have the boys ready to go after we got embarrassed last year, they embarrassed us fucking twice last season. And not only did the Bengals embarrass us, you had Mike Hilton waving at us goodbye. You had their wide receiver talking shit about how the Steelers just quit. They gave up. They had no fight in them anymore.
That was Tyler Boyd, right? Was that Tyler
Boyd? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So you hear things like that and you think that they forgot that? These are
Yeah.
professional athletes and I'm sure Tomlin brought it up. I'll be absolutely shocked if Tomlin didn't bring it up as he wants to show you a guy like a Mark Andrews to light that fire under your ass. And I would be shocked if he didn't bring that up. So I think the under is a great play actually. I think that's a hell of a play. I will tell you what my bet would be is under 18 and a half for the first half.
Gotcha.
Under 18 and a half for the first half. So 18 and a half, to for us to do that, to go over 18 and a half, you're going to have to see two touchdowns and two field goals, somewhere in that ballpark. That means roughly you can ballpark, you get about 6, 7 possessions in a first half between both teams combined. So you're talking, we're going to have to score touchdowns on, two out of 4 possessions, somewhere in that ballpark, 2 out of 5 possessions. That's asking a lot from a team that we don't know a whole lot about as far as the offensive line play is concerned, and
Yeah.
how Mitch is gonna come out of the gates, and a defense that's gonna be absolutely fired the fuck up for the Bengals on home field, and the
Yeah.
Steelers who went into Buffalo like we said last year and shut it down against the highest scoring AFC offense last season. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're both in agreement on the under. Mine's just the first half, and yours ends up being the game. Uh,
Yep.
if you were looking at the 6.5, so the spread is 6.5. Bengals are favored by 6.5. Steelers are getting plus 6.5. So is that even something you entertain?
Yeah, I mean, I would take the Steelers just because, like, I know they got embarrassed twice last year. I don't see a world where they get embarrassed like that again this season with the Bengals. Like you said, they're familiar with them. They know what they're going to want to do. I think the Steelers are going to take away Jamar Chase.
Yep.
I really think they are. I think they're keen on him. Look for them to double team him sometimes. And dude, I think just Watt is just so prime for another incredible season. I'm thinking like maybe a strip sack, a turnover. Listen. I take the Steelers with six. Listen, 6.5 points is a lot in an NFL game. It
Yep.
really is. Any team could beat anybody on any given day. I know the Steelers aren't home, which hurts a little bit. But yeah, dude, I would definitely. Did Joe Burrow take a couple snaps in preseason or no?
I didn't even see him play at all. I didn't see him play at all, but I knew. I mean, I saw some of the Bengals reporters showing that he had started moving around a little bit more the last week, but
Yeah, because
I
the
really
surgery
don't.
he had.
Right. I don't think he played even a snap. So that's another
Okay.
reason that
Yeah,
the
like
under for
the
the
dude
first half
hasn't
makes
took
sense.
the dude hasn't taken a live fucking snap. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I
Yep.
mean, it's not like we're talking about Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I mean, we know what he is. But dude, I mean, Burrow just not taking a live snap yet. I'm sure it's going to take them a couple of possessions to kind of click.
Yeah. I mean,
So
there's no
yeah,
way. I'll be shocked if they come out of the gates. Now, here's the thing about betting the under is officiating always gets in my fucking head because one long ball pass interference that shouldn't have been
yeah,
there. And I'm fucking ripping my hair out because I took under 18 and a half for a first half, or a team goes down the field and they score a touchdown on the opening possession and you're fucking shooting yourself in the foot over it. So, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
but everything my heart tells me that they're always low scoring games as far as these are concerned, especially out of the gates week 1. Teams are still, we got to remember none of these teams have played 4 quarters of football together yet. So
yeah.
there's a adjustment phase as far as the over under is concerned, as far as teams putting up massive loads of points. So no, we're in agreement. So Jerry is taking the under 44.5, was it?
Yep, on the Barstool Sportsbook. Yep.
Yep. And I am taking the under 18 and a half for the first half. Um, so those are our bets this week, and we'll keep a running total, see how Jerry and I do. We have a little bet we're going to come out with here as soon as we iron out some of the details this week, as far as a head-to-head bet is concerned for Jerry and I. We're gonna put that out there so everyone knows who they're riding with, to see how the season breaks down as far as that's concerned. But yeah, what we ask you guys is, if you are interested in the betting, download the Barstool Sportsbook app. It's a great app. They show you a ton of really cool insight on here. I mean, you're going to get win probability. Right now, they're saying it's a 71% chance that the Bengals beat the Steelers on Sunday. It shows you the last 5 games that the teams have played, how they've fared against the over and under. So they give you a bunch of insight as far as if you want to look at how you want to place a bet. They try and help you with some inside tips. So the app is useful. If you're not familiar with gambling a ton and you don't really know what you're looking at, it will help walk you through that. Again, we appreciate you guys. It's been a great episode. Like, comment, subscribe. You'll find it on the Jersey Jerry YouTube channel. You'll find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. So if you like what we're doing, it's going to be a hell of a season. And I look forward to touching base with you guys here after we beat the shit out of the Bengals here next week.
For sure. See you next week.
Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the back!